Hey guys, I'm so excited for this call today. This call is going to be about helping you tune into your inner icon. I'm Jennifer Don Gabiola, and this is Jale Zendie. And we felt super inspired to have this call because we've seen so much magic happen in our Quiet Voice Big Impact community Facebook group that we wanted to provide this call to help you tune into that inner icon even more. That way you feel more confident to be visible and make your big impact. It all starts with accessing that power on the inside, and then you can make that undeniable impression online and in person. It all starts with your presence, because like I always say, your presence is your power. Okay, so just wanted to give you a quick overview, like just housekeeping. So this platform is Zoom, and there is a chat box that you can, if you see on the bottom, there's a little box where you can type any questions, and you can watch this in speaker view or gallery view. Speaker view is where you only see one person. Gallery view is like Brady Bunch action, where you can see everybody. So whatever feels good to you, you can view it the way you like. But we're gonna ask a bunch of questions later in the call, just so you can, so we can help you too. Just tune in. All right, so before we dive deeper into this whole icon theme and why it's relevant and how it can help you, I wanted to just briefly introduce myself. Like I said, I'm Jennifer Dawn Gabiola, and the owner of dawningsoul.com. And for me, this whole icon concept has been a divinely guided idea. Intuitively for years, I'd always access that power within me through style and beauty. But I just didn't know if that's really what I was doing. So I recently did a photo shoot. It was a divinely guided idea, do a photo shoot to express that what icon means to me. And really and truly, like, doing that photo shoot really helped access that power in a deeply transformative way that I'm still reflecting on. But I'm sharing that with you is because as an introvert and being in business for over 7 years, your energy is everything. And so I've learned that that is a really phenomenal way for you to tap into yourself. And that's why I feel so passionate about helping quiet leaders own that quiet power, from the inside out. And then how do you express that through your brand, through your presence, through your marketing, all of that. It's easy to just focus on, the surface things, the techniques, and how to promote yourself. But you cannot be compelling and really engaging if you're not engaged within yourself. So that's what I'm really super passionate about. So I want to introduce you to Jale, my sister from a different mister. And she is really, I'll let her talk more about what she does. But she's one of the most pivotal forces in my life to show me an example of a quiet leader that really embodies kindness and unconditional love. And to me, that is the first step to healing and to accepting yourself. So, Joy.
Oh, thank you, Jen. So beautiful. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for having this call too. I'm really excited to be here. I love your work and your vision. So thank you to all of you watching this also. So my name is Jale Zendie, and I love supporting people who are dedicated to service. And so I really, my business is dedicated to working with mission-driven, service-oriented entrepreneurs and professionals who can't seem to find the time and the energy in order to really cultivate and create and complete their passion projects. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of momentum and endurance to keep going. And there's a lot of things that can trip us up and become blocks, and sometimes just little bumps in the road, and sometimes it looks like a big detour. And I really like helping really helpful and passionate entrepreneurs do their best work while they're feeling their best. And so I really like them to do the work that they feel called to do, but not sacrifice their well-being, not sacrifice their talents and their values, and really keep everything very integrated and authentic and real, so that your success is not just the end result, it's the whole process is successful, and honoring who you are.
Yes.
So, yes.
And how she does this, people, is through what she calls hip-hop meditation. Yes, that's what I said. So she, like, what she's created is really fresh and powerful. It helps you like tune into your heart. So yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, someone asked me the other day, they were like, why are you calling it hip-hop meditation? Like, why is it hip-hop? And I said, well, it's honoring the two cultures that saved my life. So it's only to pay homage to very, very beautiful souls and the cultures that helped me when I needed it the most in my life. So it creates movement and power through movement, and also beauty through stillness. So,
ooh, love it. Yes. Okay. So what we're going to do, just give you a brief overview of how this call is going to go down. So first, we're going to just talk about our fears of being visible, which is totally normal. Yeah. And then we're going to talk about what is an icon and why is that relevant to your life and your business, and what does it represent for you to tap into that inner icon. And then at the end, we're going to help you actually tune into it. And then if you're able to hang around at the end, we're going to announce the winner of a one-on-one brand strategy session with me. So let's see. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, I thought it was really important that we talk about why we have these fears about being, first of all, identifying the fears about being visible, first of all. So, and like sharing like reasons why we hide and stay invisible. So let's start it off. So like for me, why I feel afraid sometimes to be visible is because I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be criticized. I just want to be accepted. It really gives me a sense of control. Like playing smaller gives me a sense of, okay, it feels comfortable. It feels familiar. It gives me a sense of safety, right? So those are just a few things that I subconsciously hold on to by staying invisible. Do you relate, Jale?
Yes, I totally do. Being from a mixed background and like parents from different cultures and background, it was sometimes very hard for me to feel like I belong in one group. Yeah. Because I didn't. I was too Middle Eastern for the white people, and I was too white for the Middle Eastern people. And I grew up in the inner city school, so I was just kind of light and had a weird name. And so, but it's been really interesting growing up as a minority in even my own family sometimes, and then traveling abroad and living in other countries. Now I realize that the diversity, sometimes we want to belong to one group. It's actually really cool to realize that we can be at home wherever we are. We can be accepted and seen and understood, and we can actually be deeply accepted by others. But if we're not accepting ourselves, we can really push away opportunities that allow us to be visible. Mm-hmm. So I think, fearing criticism, fearing of not belonging are really, really powerful. And I think the antidote is, and the healing balm of that is really learning and honoring who we are and accepting ourselves in a very real and compassionate way. So,
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And hi, Bianca.
Bianca's here. You look gorgeous.
As usual. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm happy I am sorry I'm a little late. I had my thing still at 11, so I didn't go off, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's at 10:30, but the time kind of got away from me. So
no worries. What we're talking about now is we're going into, before we jump into the whole icon, like what it means to really be an icon, we're talking about our fears of being visible and what subconsciously, what are we holding on to by staying invisible? So before I ask you, Bianca, I just want to introduce who Bianca is. Bianca is the founder of Last Week's Looks, and she is a dear friend, but also a very powerful stylist. And well, I'll let you talk about yourself, Bianca, but I appreciate you being here because you also, just like Jale, really are a beautiful example of a quiet leader who is like putting herself out there in a way that feels true.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I'm Bianca. I'm Bianca Coleman. I'm a fashion stylist, personal stylist, and I help women connect with what makes them beautiful and translate that from the inside out through their style. And so I do that on photo shoots. I do that on set with filming and television. And I also work one-on-one with entrepreneurs to discover that beauty and translate it out through their style, their everyday style, but also, of course, their entrepreneurial style. So there's the style they wear on videos, on speaking engagements, at photo shoots, meeting new clients, and just so that we connect their essence with their personal style in a way that can also reflect their brand. As we know, like we always want our brand to be an extension of ourselves as well. So when we have those wardrobes that are well curated for us, it essentially takes away the age-old question, what do I wear? Especially when you're having success in your business and you get new opportunities and you get to do new things. You don't have that moment where you're like, now I have to figure out how to show up, how I want to look. We do all that work already so that you already feel very prepared and very excited. And on those days, you just show up looking great and feeling beautiful and confident.
Wonderful. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. That's wonderful. So back to our conversation here. So I'll ask you, Bianca. So, you know, we all have this fear of being seen and just being just, I guess, subconsciously staying invisible. So what is it, do you feel like that being invisible actually gives you? Because what I shared was it gives me a sense of control. It gives me a sense of feeling safe. If people don't see me, I'm safe.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So what are the things you feel like that you maybe subconsciously are holding on to by not stepping forward in a bigger way?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. What does invisible give you? I think invisible gives you that that security, right? Like you said, kind of that comfort of knowing that you're in control, or at least you perceive to be in control. You're not really so much in control, though. I think it's like the idea of like you're in this huge world. It's like if you're locked in a room, right? And you're in this huge world, and you can go out and you can see what all the noises out there are and like what's going on, and maybe it's something incredible, but maybe it's something like extremely difficult and hard, or maybe it's some version of both. And I think typically it's some version of both. But you feel safer, you feel more secure in the room. And so it's really ironically like it's one of the most constricting things we can do for ourselves, but we do it, I think, because of that concept of like, well, if I'm in this room, nothing can come through that door, or you know, and if I go out, and then I'm like offering myself and I don't know what I'm gonna get. And so being invisible gives you the security of feeling that, you know, you're protected, you have like a shield.
Yeah.
But ironically, I think the truth is kind of that we're not even protected in the room. That oftentimes, Jim Carrey has a video that went viral a few years back where basically that summed it up in a beautiful way. He said, you can fail at doing things you don't want to do. You know, you can be fired at the safe job. You can be, you know, you can essentially be like put through the ringer at, you know, the safe job or the safe environment or the safe relationship or whatever it is. So if you're fighting for something, right, for your spot in something, and you're going to have to do that anyway, you might as well do it for something you're really passionate about and something you really you want for yourself on on a more inspired level. And so I think the illusion really is that it's safer, but the reality is that it's not. It's just as risky as anything else. But I do think in our entrepreneurial journey, we end up having these really magical moments that we wouldn't have if we had stayed in the room or if we stayed in something safer.
Yes, I love that. Actually, I posted that video in our Quiet Voice Big Impact community. So it's funny. It's funny that you say that. I agree with you, ladies. Like, we have to be super, super honest why we keep ourselves small. All of us do it at some level. It's very, very important for us to be super real with ourselves, super honest in a compassionate and loving way, but being really honest, like, okay, why is it that I keep myself playing small? Why? Because when you identify that, then you can heal it, right? Which leads me to my next point. I had a breakthrough yesterday that I want to share briefly here about playing bigger. And I was talking with a friend and a mentor yesterday, and I was telling her that, the idea of playing bigger, it just feels like exhausting, like on my energy, like, oh my God, I got to do more. And she goes, you know what? I encourage you to really think about receiving more energy as a form of healing. And the way she said it to me, I was just like, oh my God, because I would always feel like I would be the producer of my own energy. I gotta do. That's why I felt exhausting. So that's a point that I really wanted to hit home today for people watching, is that receiving more as women is kind of hard sometimes. We're really good givers, but to be able to receive is just as important as giving. We're actually meant to be on that. It's a cycle. We receive and we give. It's the same thing. So I just wanted to encourage everyone watching and listening that receiving can feel safe. Receiving can actually heal you. And we don't have to understand how that's possible, but just to believe it's possible. And then that's going to awaken us that heightened sense of awareness in your spirit to actually allow more. So that was really a huge moment for me to go, oh, wow, receiving equals healing, because that feels safe to me, instead of like, oh, I got to like put myself out there. It does not feel safe. But the idea of like this greater force is supporting me, and actually doing this as a form of healing. Oh yeah, all day. Like, I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm open to that. That feels like I can move in that direction. That feels nourishing to my spirit. Does that resonate with y'all?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely think one of the fears of like that box scenario I gave you, one of the fears is that you're going to walk out there and then you're going to be alone, right? Like, you're going to have things come at you and you're really not going to be prepared, and you're going to be alone. And I think just like you said, it turns out that that's more of a myth, because in my experience, and I've heard it echoed from a lot of other entrepreneurs, like, the more you move toward your goal or whatever your passion is or whatever you're being drawn to, the more people show up, resources show up.
Yes.
And education shows up, and opportunities show up, and it just kind of motivates you to keep moving, and it gives you all the power you need to accomplish what it is you're accomplishing. And so you're talking about just trusting that you're going to receive those things, and that is a big part of that. And the more comfortable you get in it, I think the more you receive.
Yes, amen. Amen, sister. Goosebump City. Okay. How about you, Jale? Do you resonate with that?
I do. I love that idea, and I think it's something that has not been taught to us, or it's been mistaught in a completely backward way. And I think what you're saying is like the much more natural, honoring the natural process of receiving and then having something to give.
Yes.
And giving what we actually have to give. Yes. Just like a fountain. You try to turn on a fountain that has no water, good luck having anything come out of it.
Right.
You have to put water into it. It has to have something in the cup. Yeah. And then it can actually put water in all different directions, and then you feel the mist on your face, and it has this really beautiful, it's a very attractive kind of energy. But you can't get anything from a well that's empty. Right. You can't get anything from a teacup that has nothing in it. So it's a quote that I love from Rumi. He's a Persian poet, and he said, don't give from your well, give from the overflow.
Mm-hmm.
Once you receive, then you actually have something to give, and it honors the well. It honors like the exchange of the energy.
Yeah.
It's sustainable, and it actually makes giving really joyful and much, much more powerful.
Yes.
Instead of one little drop here and there, we can give a whole stream. Try to shut off a waterfall.
Yes. I love
because it
that.
has a powerful source, you know.
Yes, I love that you say that, because when you are visible, that is a form of giving. First, giving to yourself. It is actually a form of healing. If you reframe it that way, that it's like, okay, I'm open to being healed. I'm open to feeling better. But then you're also giving to other people. You step forward. That actually instinctively gives other people permission to be also free. Because when you step forward, you feel more free. You may be scared as hell, but you feel more free, right? So the more you do that, that's an act of service. So I just want everyone to really reflect on that stepping forward, yes, it does feel scary. It does feel terrifying. Identify that. But then reframe it, because we are not meant to be here on this earth to hide, period. And that's why we have come together, because we all feel called to help everyone, especially in our Quiet Voice Big Impact group, to actually overcome our fears and be seen, because that's an act of service.
Yeah.
Right? And so here's, I think the point's going to hit it home. So we're talking about receiving. So what do we actually, by us stepping into our icon, what does that really mean for us? Because it's super fun in the group to see everyone post their photos and who they admire. And because really what icon means is something that represents something else, right? So icon means like, I want you to reflect on, what does icon really mean to you? For me, it's freedom, grace, and quiet power. Jolly, what does icon mean to you?
The first word is and. You don't have to just be one thing. You can be all of who you are, and in a very light, free kind of way. It feels fun, it feels fresh, it feels light, and it feels expansive.
Yes.
For me.
Yeah, love that. And then Bianca, what does the word icon, what does that represent for you?
Represents for me stepping into yourself and your path and your passion and your inspiration completely unapologetically and fully.
Yes.
And creatively making an impact with it. One that is lasting. You know, we also, that famous saying, like, I want to change the world in a positive way.
Yeah.
It's people I view as iconic are people who not only, that was the meeting. I thought we were,
right on time. Right on time, actually, 11.
The people who are iconic for me are people who have fully stepped into themselves and what inspires them, but then go forth and make an imprint on the world in a positive way. And that's why I view them as icons, you know, because they've left this legacy.
Yes. Oh my God. Goosebumps again. Yes. Okay, you brought that home. I love that you brought that up, because I want people to know that being iconic does not only for celebrities or the chosen few or the rich or whatever. To me, we're all born with that iconic power, that iconic essence. And I love that you said it's about leaving a legacy. It's a timeless legacy that you are leaving. Like when you think of Prince, he's physically gone, but his spirit is here. Like it actually elevated like his impact on the world, you know. So that is it. Like all of us actually have that. I just want to break that like stereotype, like, oh no, I have to be Beyonce. No, you don't. You can access that vibe, but you express it in your own way, right?
Right. Beyonce is already Beyonce.
Yeah.
So like,
she's excellent at it.
Yeah.
Right. She's really good at it, right?
Yeah.
Because she's because it's her, you know, and you're gonna be the best you. Like nobody's gonna be able to copy you. You know, if you tap into the best version of you, you won't have to be anything else.
Absolutely. No competition there. So a really important point I would like to like share with our people watching and listening to this is I really want to talk about, so when you do step into your iconic like power, right? What is actually going to give you, like what, after you move to the other side of the fear, what can you receive for yourself? So some things I've been reflecting on is in my personal experience, the more I am tapped in and tuned in, I'm able to be more clear as far as communicating my value. My sales conversations with people are easier and more natural. I don't feel like, because I feel so grounded in myself. Some other examples are like, I remember when I was first posting in online, I was just like, oh my God, I'm scared. No one's going to listen. Like, it's going to be crickets. And I did feel like that. But the more I was grounded in myself and actually shared with the intention of, I just want to help and just focus on one person and did that consistently, man, like doing that over time, people are like, I follow you. I've been following you for years. I'm like, really? Yes, you're making an impact on my life. You don't know, but I'm reading your posts. I'm like, okay. So public speaking, like Jale is a public speaker, so an author. So like to me, yes.
It just happened. So
yeah,
processing.
I think you're like number 7, right, on Amazon, right?
Yeah, in self-esteem, we got number 7. I'm still processing it. I'm so grateful.
Exactly. She's in the same category as Brene Brown. Like, to me, like these are examples of like when you are tapped in, tuned in, you are able to show up in a bigger way. You know, you're able to ask for what you're worth. How many times I'm guilty of this where I negotiate my prices in the past, like, okay, I'll work with you. But because deep down, you don't recognize your value. But when you are tapped in and you honor your value and you're really showing up fully, it's not negotiable. You just are clear, like, this is how much I charge. You know, so those are just really some tangible, real world examples, especially as an entrepreneur. But I would like for Jale and Bianca to also share, like, when you are so in the zone, right? And when I say in the zone, I'm not saying you gotta look photo shoot ready, like, oh yeah. I'm talking about tapped into that vibe. When you're tapped into that, you can totally like rock that every day if you like. But I'm talking about tapping into that vibe, because when you're in that vibe, you become undeniable and you become magnetic, and people want more of you, straight up. So, and you don't, but it comes from a really honest and natural place. You're not forcing it, you know. So I'd love to hear, Jale, what other examples do you feel like when you are tapping into this iconic power, this quiet power, what other things do you feel like people could, you know, benefit from, get or receive?
Yeah. So just speaking from my personal experience, because anything is possible. Anything is in the realm of possibilities. But I always like making things feel very tangible. And so I like to share just from my own perspectives. But something that happened, and I'm just going to use the last 2 months as an example. I've never created a speaker sheet. Well, I created it, but I've never shared it. I created it for myself to get clear. And a month and a half ago, I was sent an invitation with somebody who I met twice, basically dropped my name and told somebody who's having a conference in Milan that they have to have me come. They didn't know anything about hip-hop meditation. They didn't know anything about me or what I do. They knew I spoke English, even though my name looks foreign. They were like, does she speak English? And I did, and that's all they knew. And they handed me the mic each morning for 4 days, and it gave me their whole audience to do a hip-hop meditation to open for the keynote speaker. It was just an invitation, and at first I was like, do you want to know more about me? Do I need to send you like some videos? And they were like, no, just come. Oh, okay. So I'll just show up. Okay. All right. And in my head, I always want to say, I just want to show up and be myself. I just want to show up. Yeah. Literally, that's what I did. I just showed up to a country I've never been in, Italy. And it was so sweet. Like the whole thing just felt like I was being carried.
Yes.
And yes, there wasn't a moment where I was like, I don't belong here. I was like, oh my God, my people. There are people from 62 countries who were in the audience, and it was for conscious entrepreneurs to have support to keep doing their work. So it was truly like my ideal clients that were in the audience, and I just got invited, and I just had to say yes. And something happened just 2 days ago. Somebody texted me and said, do you work with entrepreneurs? Because I think I want to work with you. they didn't know that I had kind of shifted and just wanted to focus on entrepreneurs who are mission driven. I didn't like really put that out there. And she contacted me, so we're going to talk later today. So sometimes when we're on the other side of fear, we get to just keep being who we are, and not to say we just become like complacent and watch Netflix all day. Like we're still putting out what we do and connecting with people, but we just seem to show up and be in the moment where those conversations happen and where those invitations can be made, and people can find us without having to force it. It's more of just connecting in a very heartfelt, genuine way. Yeah. And then doors open. Yeah. So showing up, I would just say we show up, yes, and just seem to connect easily, and then the doors and invitations come. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. It's really about, you shared a beautiful quote. I was going to share it, but I don't have it handy. But Jolly shared a quote about, like, she doesn't have to actually say a lot. It's really about expressing and allowing people to feel that. And before I move on to Bianca, I just wanted to share an example of that is with my icon photo shoot that I did for myself last weekend. I tuned into the vibe and I did it for myself, but I knew intuitively that me doing that courageous act was really not just for me, but to help other quiet leaders express themselves too. But when I started sharing just a few images from my phone, man, that really opened doors. People were like, whoa, like, your photos are so moving. Like, I feel something from you. Like, and I've connected with new people, completely new people. And so that's really an effortless, organic way where you're expressing from your heart. You're not having to sell it. You're just like, here. And people can feel that. And if they're in the right frequency, the right vibe, they'll feel you. And the people that are not, good. It's like a good filter system, right? Screening, so yeah, I just want to also share that example that when you express, whether in images and words, live in person or not, if it's coming from the heart, that is the most powerful impact you can make. Okay, so Bianca, we'd love to know, for you, in your case, when you, like, being more tapped into your inner icon, what has come about for you?
Okay, the first thing that comes to mind for me is the ease of talking about what I do and why I do. I think when I first started, I felt like every opportunity I had to talk about it, I would immediately, someone say, well, what do you do? Oh, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. And like, I would get this feeling, like it would just be like this, like, okay, like showtime, like spotlight's on you, like get this right. Like, I felt so passionate about what I was doing, why I was doing it, that I would put a lot of pressure on myself to really articulate it in this phenomenal way. Like this, like, I don't know. It was never really, it's funny because it was never really anything like I can articulate, because it was just this idea that there was some perfect way of saying it. And so no way that I said it, and all ways I said it, were good. Like, were good enough and conveyed my point. But in my head, it was like always like, oh, like, I don't know if I got it that time. I'm going to have to check again. I'm going to have to revise, It's kind of like your elevator speech. Like, I wanted to have just this, like, unbelievably, like, life-changing elevator speech. And then the more I talked to other people and I would hear how they kind of describe their business, I realized that it was more about just calming down and just saying just being you, just like talking from your heart. And so now it's very easy for me to say, well, I work with, women to find that inner beauty in themselves and translate it from the inside out through their style. Like that's the summation of everything I do, no matter if it's a photo shoot or I'm working one-on-one with an entrepreneur. That's the goal all the time. That's the consistent goal. And so it's always some variation of that. And so through my kind of journey, I've learned to talk more about what I do, how I do it, with way more ease. And the more I do that, the more, like, people, it won't even be who I'm talking directly to. Like, they'll be interested and somebody will be like, I ever heard that. Whoa, that's what you do? Can I hear more? Do you have a card? Or, what's going on? And so it's kind of like Jolly said, you just start to receive in more organic ways.
Yes.
And you become, like, you kind of lean into it. And then when you first find your passion and you first walk out that door and you are ready for the world, you kind of like have these preconceptions of like how you have to be. And that was what made me so nervous every time somebody asked me, because I was like, this is a potential person I could work with and I have to be something, you know? And so once I kind of released that belief that like I have to show up in a very specific way or like somebody else, or just with the old formula, like an outdated formula, one I use more in a more traditional, I guess, corporate world or traditional employment world. Once I released like those beliefs and I just started showing up like, this is what I do. And I just started to receive more, and I received more comfort in myself, what I do. And so that's like one of the biggest, I think, that came up for me is just the ease that I have with all aspects of my business, but especially in those first initial meetings where you're talking to people. And as you said, it kind of leaks into, when you talk about what your rates are, you're doing, a sale technically, just like how organic that feels now versus how it felt, when I first started, again, because of that concept of like, it has to be like this.
Right.
It has to go this way. And the more I realized, like, it goes back to that iconic part we spoke about, the more you are just what you, like the way that you authentically would talk about your rates, or the way you authentically would talk about what it is you're doing every day and why you're doing it, that is more than enough. Like, that's exactly what you need to, that's the zone you need to kind of stay in. And when you start to be like, I want to sell like Reforlio, or I want to do, like specifically like targeting people and trying to figure out exactly what they do, and then try and like replicate that to a T. Cool, like take it, remix it, make it your own, but like be them. You'll find it feels like, just doesn't feel natural, and
right.
People can feel that.
Yes.
So I think the more I've come into my freedom as an entrepreneur, the more I've received the ability to communicate effectively, and through that I receive more opportunity. So
yes, I love that you said, because really I feel like you are a really beautiful example of this, is that when you're owning your being, your essence, your icon, whatever you like to call it, but everyone has a being. When you own that, your presence actually speaks for itself. The three of us we had a Quiet and Fierce VIP day in New York in February, and I remember we were having break for lunch, and we were eating pizza, and Bianca, like one of the ladies asked Bianca, like, what do you do? But they were so fascinated by her vibe, because she just carried herself with just ease and grace. And I wanted to mention that because that, one of them, I think became like her clients, or anyway, definitely leads. But what I wanted to share about that was, Bianca didn't have to say, hey guys, I am a stylist. Because she was just like embodying that. She was being that, and people could feel that energy, feel that presence, and say, I want some of that for me, right? So again,
actually what she said, she was like, I want that. Like, I want what you have.
Exactly.
Like, that was so cool. That was a great experience. Yeah, that was good. That's the best way. It's so fun. If everybody, I mean, that's like, I feel immediately really, really aligned. Like, okay, I was put here, for that reason. Those are really exciting moments for me.
Yeah.
Because it's really, you see how you're being used too. And that's always like a big blessing when you get to see how you're being used.
Yes.
That's kind of really cool. So I really appreciate it when those
Awesome. So thank you for sharing those examples. So if you're watching this, think about like what the potential could be, to me, it's really about more ease. It's more ease and grace. Ease, like you don't have to try so hard to like actually communicate what you're wanting to communicate, close sales, do a presentation. It's ease, and then also grace. When you feel so tapped in and aligned, you can feel you're being supported. Like Jale said, she felt like she was carried. You feel that, and that actually makes you actually have more courage, because you're like, oh, well, it's not just me. Like, I'm not willing this to happen. It's just, I feel like I'm carried. I feel like I'm being supported. And then the results happen with a sense of effortlessness. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, cool. So we're going to wrap up the call with just sharing just some tips on how people can actually tune in to their inner icon today. So we're just going to share just a few tips here. So again, like what we shared in the group, like think about, just to recap what we did in the group, think about who you already admire and why, like journal about that, because those qualities are already in you, right? That's why you're resonating with them. And then what's also helpful is to find photos or look at things in your closet that you absolutely love, 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 and then reflecting on what is that saying about me? And then dive deeper on what is that? What are those qualities that I'm really wanting to express, but I just need to cultivate some more. Now, I'm going to share a tip that I came across yesterday, which is really powerful, that I think I'm going to screen share this situation here. Hold on, let me see here. Let me see.
I love the situations.
I know. Share screen. Let me see if hopefully the technology will work here.
Oh, it will.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's about to happen.
It's about to happen. Okay.
I can feel it.
Okay, here, share screen. Okay, so here. Share screen. Can you see this?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Okay, so this is a shot from my photo shoot. Okay, now you see me here live. Like, this is me on the regular, right? But when I stepped on a shoot as my icon, it was over. Like, something switched inside me. And so yesterday, a good friend of mine said, you know what? You should name that. You should name that spirit that comes out, because then whenever you feel tired or you feel scared, you just go, you know what? I'm going to be this person. So I'm going to also share one more photo. Stop share, just to hit home this point. And I'm going to share the name. Share screen. Share screen. Okay, do you see this one? Wait, hold on. Do y'all see the pink action on now? Okay, so this situation here. So yesterday I was brainstorming with my friend. He's like, what's your background? I said, I'm Filipino. He goes, oh, what if we think of a name that actually represents something in Filipino? I was like, okay, cool. And so the word queen came up. He's like, look up queen, Reina. Oh, when that came up on my phone, I was like, hell yeah. So to me, when I look at this photo, to me, looks like this is a queen, okay? This is, when I say queen, not above anyone else, but someone that is owning her power, but with a sense of grace, knowing she's a part of something greater. So let me stop sharing here. But I would just want to encourage you to name that presence, that spirit inside you, because like this morning when I was getting dressed, I was like, all right, Reina is up. Okay, let's see what I'm going to wear. Like this, I was feeling this. So what I'm suggesting is that you don't have to look like photo shoot ready every day. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that feeling, that vibe is already in you, and you can turn that up at any point. But you just have to like cultivate what that feels like for you, right? So so that was my one tip, is to definitely name it, and take some time to really feel into what that feels like for you, and then to actually name it so it becomes more real. So Jale, what are some tips that you would like to share to help people watching and listening, to help them tune into that inner icon?
I would say whatever makes you feel alive. So anything that you've seen, touched, tasted, listened to, anything in nature, anything that's been created, but anything also in the natural world, anything that just when you see it, there's just this feeling in your chest that's like if it had a sound, that would be the sound, like just expansive and cool and really alive. Like if you've ever just had those moments, you're like, oh my God, I'm alive.
Yes.
And like really happy and like so present to being alive, just being aware of this gift that we have today. And for it to really come without trying to think of it, you know, like just kind of remember moments that were maybe some of your favorite moments, people you were with, what you were seeing, what you were listening to. Our memories are really powerful, and so they can help kind of guide you on the process, or what colors were there, what sounds were present. And to really let it be fun, because it's going to show up. Actually just setting an intention, like, you know, I'd like to get more clarity on what my icon is. Watch what happens when you ask and request to be shown.
Yes.
The next commercial that comes on is going to have this like beautiful, elegant thing. You know, just inspiration is all around. Like really just like lean back and like, let me just tune in to what's showing up.
Yes. Absolutely. When you declare what you want, notice life is going to give it to you.
Yeah, and you don't have to force it, but you can just kind of be keenly aware and observe and be curious to see, what's going to show up today.
Awesome.
And I like the idea of naming it. Like what is the element? If it's the element of freedom, the element of movement, and the element of power, an element of compassion.
Yeah. And you were saying earlier before we started the call that you're reflecting on this, but the name that's coming to you for your inner icon is And, right?
Yeah, because my last name is Zandier, like Z-A-N-D. Zand is where that side of the family came from. It was a place, land of Zand. But And is in the name of Zand, and so that was like a whole family. And I love the word And. Anyone who knows me, I talk about And all the time, because I love being more of who we are and bridging all of those pieces and letting them come together and hold each other up.
Love it. And Raina and Awesome. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Now, Bianca, what can you think of maybe one tip that's like a simple tip that people could maybe reflect on today to really activate that feeling in themselves, that inner icon?
Yeah. Beforehand, I apologize in case that big sound keeps coming back. I had muted myself, so just let me know if it gets too loud. But I was thinking about a bunch of different tips. But I mean, I've settled on, I think that it's important to realize, like, and I said this in my interview, what you're capable of and what you've done. And so a way to do that is to just write down, and I keep mine like in a little note on my phone. But just write down all of your accomplishments, like big or small, like all of the things in your life, all those moments that felt triumphant for you, whatever they were. And keep a log of that. And then as you're going through life, like keep it, the reason why I say keep it on your phone is because it's going to be like a breathing document. Like it's like going to be like a living, breathing document. So the more things you accomplish, the more people you talk to, like, oh, I reached out and tried to talk to that blogger and now I have coffee with her. Like write that in there.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I woke up and I was feeling like I was really tempted to just be crabby today, and I somehow turned my day around within like the first hour, turned my whole mood around. Like write that in there, and oh, all the way to like, oh, I got this amazing opportunity at a conference, put that in there. And the more you do that, you'll have this list. Like when you get tempted to think like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it, I don't know if I'm enough for this, I don't know if you have any of those doubting moments, and I think we all do at some point, you can remind yourself, like just go back. You don't even have to give yourself a pep talk. Just like somehow figure out a way to get to your phone, type your key in, and go to that document and just start reading. And by like the seventh thing you read, you'll remember like, oh yeah, I'm kind of the shit. Like, okay, I can do this, and so start that document now. Like just do a brain dump of everything, whether it was, winning your spelling bee in elementary school, just go back, just start from the beginning, or being prom queen, or getting, the best score on that paper in the entire class, or whatever it is, start there and just keep going. Just do a brain dump of every single time you felt triumphant, you felt like oh, I did that. I accomplished that. Like slayed it, nailed it, you know. Every time you have that feeling, just write it down. And then we'll write down every time you've had it before. And then make sure it's on something that, you know, your iPad or your phone that kind of is mobile with you. And when you have those feelings of like warmth and happiness and overcome, or like you're overcome with just self-gratitude and gratitude for the things that you've manifested in your life, just put them in there.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I think that's a really great way to realize the legacy you're creating.
Yes.
Because I have this little box that says, don't, paraphrasing, it says, don't enjoy the small moments for someday you'll realize that, enjoy the small things for someday you'll realize they were big things.
Yes.
And that's how our journeys work. It's like you have an end goal, maybe a ever-changing end goal, but as you have smaller accomplishments, like that's all moving towards your end goal. That's all the journey. So in a way, that's all more important, you know? And so to have all those little wins, all the wins on your phone readily available, it's like a constant, really good exercise just to like go in there. And you can check it before business meetings or new, you know, anything that's important to you before you get on the phone with a client. If you're starting to like, I don't know, need that little boost of inspiration, whatever you need, just to remind yourself of how iconic you are and your iconic power.
Yes, I love that you're talking about this legacy, and then you having these wins is you're actually creating your legacy now. You know,
right.
So I love that. I think this is super, super powerful and beautiful. So I hope these tips are helpful for everyone, and we have a lot of ways to actually access that inner icon. So because we only have a limited amount of time, we wanted to share just some tips for you to reflect on. But we wanted to share that we are so excited that in August 18th to the 21st, we're actually going to do a Quiet Voice Big Impact annual retreat that we did last year. We're going to do it again. But this year's theme is icon, because basically what we've been sharing in the group, what we're sharing on this call, we want you to really embody that, own that power, so you feel confident to be seen, and you know you're a part of something greater, and then you get the results you want in a very organic, natural, magnetic way. Truly, like we're all testaments to this, okay? We are all walking testimonies to this. So I just want to give you just a few highlights. Well, actually, let me share the acronym that the Divine Download I got probably like a week and a half ago. I'm super happy to announce this. So icon, I was feeling the theme icon, but God like put a cherry on top. It was like, hey, by the way, you know what this stands for? Okay, you ready? This is the first time I'm announcing it. So the acronym for icon is introvert coming out now. What? Yes.
I love that.
And so what that means is like, what would it feel like for you to actually come out fully, like own your power? What would that feel like for you? How kind of magic could unlock in you? What could happen in your life? So this retreat is about holding a very safe space, 4 days, holding a very safe space where we are going to help you unlock that magic from doing inner work, getting in tune with your body, recognizing your value, getting clear on your brand. And then it all leads up to this inner beauty photo shoot where we help you with your iconic look, from your hair to your makeup to your clothes, where you are really stepping into that. The reason why I feel like God gave me that idea to do that icon photo shoot for myself, which really honestly was not part of my original plan, but the reason why he slipped that in there was just like, I need you to show an example of an introvert who is coming into her own now. And what is that like? And it's powerful, because now I'm having like more shifts within my spirit. When I share that, people, they've told me they feel moved because I'm communicating from my soul and my spirit. And then we can have conversations about, oh, I want to work with you. But it's coming from a like aligned, heart-centered place. It really strengthens that connection when you're meeting new people. So just wanted to give you just highlights about the retreat. Next week, I'm going to be sharing more details, the actual page with all the details and stuff. But we wanted to just give our Quiet Voice Big Impact community a sneak peek about what's to come, because both Jale and Bianca and Siobhan, she's not here today, but they attended last year, they participated, and they showed up last year. What the theme was next level, but they really showed what that looked like. And now, like, you see their presence is powerful, and now they're thriving in their life and their business. And so I've asked them to be mentors this year, because to me, like, that's a powerful thing where in 1 year you're feeling more of yourself, you're feeling more alive, and now you're giving back. We're now going to be supporting a whole new group of ladies to actually activate that power, that gift, so they can make their impact. I'm telling you, this is powerful shit. So did I miss anything, Jale or Bianca? Oh, I don't hear you, Jale. Can you repeat that? Your audio.
Is that better?
Yeah. You were the whole audio. I couldn't hear it. Could you just?
Oh yeah, sorry. Thanks. Yeah. So last year, Jen asked if I could do some special hip hop meditation specifically for helping people tune into that most beautiful, powerful, real, honest part of ourselves, and really let that come forth in the photo shoots. So it's externally we look amazing, but internally we want you to feel amazing. We want you to feel comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
So that's actually happening this year. And the ones I've created for this retreat are probably some of my favorite that I've ever created. I've created a lot of hip hop meditations for different groups, but these I think are probably some of my favorite. And I'm not just saying it because I'm on this call. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to sharing them and creating a process that feels really cool as you're diving into this inner icon. And what gets to shine out is just pure light and the real and honest you. So.
Yeah, and then you're going to walk away with photos. Like, there's something about when you see photos of yourself in this way, I promise you, there's going to be a deep inner shift inside you that's like, wow. It's going to activate that power in you, like, wow, that's inside me? Yeah, hell yeah, that's inside you. It's actually you're actually already radiating that, but the photos and this experience is going to help you really believe that more in a deeper way. So, Bianca, is there anything you feel like you'd like to share about the upcoming retreat in August? It's going to be in Houston, Texas, by the way, as well. So more details next week, but I wanted to just give you highlights.
Yeah, I am so excited to be a part of the retreat as a mentor this year. Like you said, it's a full circle moment. So it's very cool since I was an attendee last year. And this year, I'm really excited to lend a lot of support on the beauty and the style side, especially when it comes to figuring out how to correlate your self-love and the beauty we're all going to really discover. And I'm a testament to that. Like, you will really tap into what makes you necessary and what makes you unique and all those iconic things about you. And so where I will be coming in a big role at the retreat is really connecting that back into your style and explaining how to not only correlate that with your everyday style, but again, with your branded styles. So what you wear on your branded content of any kind, what you wear at specific opportunities and events, speaking, interviews, all that other fun stuff, photo shoots like the one I'll be on hand at the photo shoot, helping all of our amazing women look, feel incredible. And I am excited to get there and do my thing and support you in any way I can at this retreat. And I just think it's something that's very close to my soul and it worked wonders for me last year. And so I'm really excited to pay it forward this year and help our women really tap into their own and embrace their iconic power through style and through self-expression.
Yeah, I love that. So as Bianca said, she's going to be helping with style and aligning that with who you are and your brand. Jale is really good at like really helping you bust through those fears, but in a really kind and compassionate way, so you feel really, really powerful from the inside out. Siobhan is also a stylist, so her expertise is talking about self-acceptance and how do you use that sense of self-acceptance to present yourself to the world the way you want. And then my specialty, I will help with the style end part too, but more about really connecting to the essence of who you are, because that is a core foundation, that iconic essence. And then how do you build upon that with confidence and grace, so you're clear on your messaging. So I'll be helping with the branding. At the end, there's going to be brand like coaching. So that way, by the time you leave the retreat, you're going to have like really clear steps. Like, okay, I feel confident and I know what I'm going to do, like moving forward. I know what I'm going to do. And I feel supported by a sisterhood for real. You go through this experience with this intimate group, and we're only limiting it to a small group of women because it's important that everyone feels safe and intimate. So this space is very sacred. So if this is something that you feel like you would like to learn more about, like I said, I want to share the information next week. But I did want to say, if you feel like an inner yes, then email me at info@dawningsoul.com, and then we can talk about it, because, you know, you need it. This is about really stepping forward and really committing to yourself to show up, because you want that life that is actually on the other side of the fear. We have been there. We are doing it. We know. So I just want, everyone to know that this is not just, this is something you've never experienced before. This is actually coming from all of our hearts. This feels so divinely guided. Last year it was literally a slice of heaven, and we're going to do that again this year. So Jale put my email, info@dawningsoul.com. But again, if you have any questions, you can private message me in the group. Yeah, so Jale put that in the chat here if you need more information. The retreat is August 18th to the 21st. It's coming up. And then the last thing I wanted to share was we're actually going to be sharing some free training starting next week. So if you'd like, you can sign up for the 3-part free training to help you feel more visible, to help you feel more confident with your presence and your power. That way you feel you make an impact with your business and your brand. So that you can sign up at dawningsoul.com/be visible. I think Jolly's typing that up too. dawningsoul.com/be visible. So that is it. We hope that you reflect on the tips that we shared with you about accessing that inner icon that's already inside you. And we'd love for you to share more in our group, on our Quiet Voice Big Impact community on Facebook. But I think that's it. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we wrap it up, ladies? Jale?
Just that it's really nice. I really liked the retreat last year because it gave us a chance to serve each individual woman. Very high touch is definitely Jennifer's style. It's my style. I think it's definitely Bianca and Siobhan's style too. Put a lot of attention and details. We're all very sensitive and intuitive.
Yes.
And so you're not going to be in this like big mass of people. When you're there, you're really going to feel like, oh, I have this like powerhouse of a team with me. And so we really keep it quite small, but very high touch. So if that feels like a good fit for you and something that you would feel comfortable exploring, I would totally definitely move forward, even if it's just to learn a little bit more about it. Definitely take Jen up on her offer. It's she's great at seeing if somebody is a good fit or not, and if you are, you get first dibs, and your seat is reserved. So.
Yeah, and what I'm thinking is, like, as an incentive, if you do email me for a complimentary discovery call, I could add in some extra one-on-one support, which I don't normally just do that, but I feel so, like I was mentioning earlier, all of us feel so divinely guided and led to support everyone in this way. So, yeah. And Bianca, is there anything else that you'd like to share before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this is a really all-encompassing experience. This year, it was phenomenal for me last year, and this year it's like 2.0. We have a lot of just incredible people as mentors. We have like 4 mentors this year, which is really cool. And it is really about iconically up-leveling every part of not only your business, but yourself, and the way that you engage with yourself and the way that you kind of view yourself, so that you can even grow further and further after you leave the retreat. And so I just want to echo what everybody's saying, which is this is just a phenomenal opportunity, and I'm excited to be a part of it. And I look forward to meeting the women who we have the honor of supporting, and really supporting them to completely up-level their business and their self and their feeling of self-worth and their ability to empower their iconic essence.
Yeah. Yes, I love that. Your presence is your power. Truly. What is going to make you stand out is you being yourself. So how do you actually activate that and then function and operate as a creator? Because when you do that, that's how you stand out in a way that feels good. Not stand out like, oh, like a sore thumb, but standing out in your power. Man, it's hard to describe unless you experience it. And so, like, all the tips we've shared today, it's going to help activate that. But man, when you experience that live in person, it's transformational for real. For real. So if you do feel like you'd like to learn more, just email me at info@dawningsoul.com, because it would be really our honor to support this intimate group. Like I said, we're keeping it small because that's the power of that intimacy and that sacred, safe space. So just email me, and be sure to sign up at dawningsoul.com/be visible, just for the free training that's coming up in the next few weeks. Okay, so that's it. So thank you, ladies, for being here. I feel so blessed and honored to know you, and that fact that y'all are going to help mentor a new group of ladies this year. It's going to be phenomenal, fantastic. I just feel it. It feels electric, and I feel very, very grateful. So thank you for being here, and thank you for helping to support everyone at this year, 2016's Quiet Voice Big Impact Live Retreat.
My pleasure. Thank you.
This is great. Looking forward to seeing everyone soon.
Yay! See you in the group. Okay, We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.